discuss the evolution of post-World War II international economic order with special reference to Bretton Woods Institution, IMF and SDR, the collapse of fixed exchange rate system, GATT WTO and emergence of NDB and AIIB. Also examine the need for reform in global economic governance. So, the destruction caused by the Second World War created the need for a stable international economic order based on monetary stability, reconstruction, and free international trade. The Bretton Woods Conference of 1944 laid the foundation of order through creation of IMF, World Bank, and followed by GATT in trading sector. The Bretton Woods system sought to establish a stable international monetary system. IMF was established for monetary stability and balance of payment assistance. World Bank was established for reconstruction and long-term development finance. GATT was established in 1947 for the reduction of trade barrier and promotion of international trade. However, the system was operated within the geopolitical rivalry of Cold War, with the US playing dominant role in international economic architecture. IMF, its function and governance. IMF performed three major functions: surveillance, financial assistance, and technical assistance. IMF monitors global, regional, and national economies. IMF also provide financial assistance by helping countries who are facing balance of payment crisis. It provides technical assistance by providing training, policy advice, and institutional support. Its governance consists of board of governor, executive board, and managing director. Board of governor is the highest decision making body. Executive board handles day-to-day functioning. Managing director heads the institution and chairs the executive board. IMF quota is important because it influences the country's financial contribution, voting power, and access to IMF resource and SDR allocation. The special drawing right was created by IMF in 1969 to supplement the member country's official reserve. It is popularly known as paper gold, but it is not a conventional currency. Initially, SDR had gold based value. Subsequently, with transformation of international monetary system, its valuation shifted to the basket of major currencies. SDR are allocated broadly according to IMF quota and can be exchanged among IMF member for usable currencies. Thus, quota is directly proportional to SDR allocation plus voting power plus access to IMF resources. Collapse of Bretton Woods. The Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate system came under the pressure because of persistent US balance of payment deficit, heavy expenditure including the Vietnam War, rising inflation, growing dollar liquidity, pressure on US gold reserve, declining confidence in dollar gold convertibility. In 1971, the Nixon shock ended the convertibility of US dollar to gold at a fixed rate of $35 per troy ounce. Consequently, Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate system collapsed and world increasingly moved towards floating exchange rate. For India, the transition towards more market determined exchange rate system occurred gradually, particularly through the reform in 1991 and 1993. GATT to WTO. GATT was established in 1947, primarily focused on reducing tariff and trade barrier. It was replaced by WTO in 1995, which provided a broader institutional framework consisting of trade in good, trade in service, intellectual property, dispute settlement. The WTO strengthened the multilateral trading system through principles such as non discrimination, predictability, and trade liberalization. Criticism and reform of IMF. Despite its importance, the IMF has faced criticism for conditionality attached to the financial assistance, excessive emphasis on austerity slash financial consolidation in some program, Social cost of adjustment policies, inadequate prediction and prevention of major crises, disproportionate influence of advanced economies due to quota based voting structure. Major crises such as Mexican crisis, Asian financial crisis, global financial crisis, European sovereign debt crisis have generated debate over effectiveness of global financial surveillance. The 2010 IMF quota and governance reform sought to increase the representation of emerging and developing economy, reflecting their growing share in global economy. However, further reforms are required to make governance more representative. Emergence of NDB and AIIB. The growing economy weighted of emerging economies has also encouraged the creation of alternative or complementary development financial institution. New Development Bank (NDB), established by BRICS, focusing on infrastructure and sustainable development. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank (AIIB), focused primarily on infrastructure financing with broad international member. Their emergence reflects the movement towards more multipolar global economic architecture. In conclusion, the post war economic order has evolved from Bretton Woods system of 1944 to a more complex and multipolar architecture involving IMF, World Bank, WTO, NDB, and AIIB. While the traditional institutional remain indispensable, their legitimacy require greater representation of emerging economies, transparent governance, context sensitive conditionality, and stronger crisis prevention mechanism.